Hello, today we're going to talk about self-talk. So as a psychotherapist that specializes in the highly sensitive person, and as a highly sensitive person myself, I actually see that we seem to have a default for a lot of negative self-talk. Now this can be a very big problem, and it actually impacts us a lot more than we realize. I know for myself, before I became what I call a trained HSP, I had a lot of negative self-talk about being weak or too sensitive or, having emotional meltdowns, whatever that was. And in my book, that's for the highly sensitive person, it's called Brain Training for the Highly Sensitive Person, Techniques to Reduce Anxiety and Overwhelming Emotions. One of the things that I talk about in this book is I use an example of, imagine that you have two children in front of you, and both of them are hurting in some way, whether it's emotional or physical pain. And we say to the first child, "What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like that? Why are you so sensitive? Why are you so stupid? Why are you so weak?" And the second one, we say, "Oh, come here. It sounds like you got hurt. You sounds like you're hurting. Come, I wanna give you a hug, and I wanna help you through this." And imagine how those two children are going to experience those two different scenarios. While we think we would never talk to a child that way, whether we talk to the first child, we do actually tend to talk to ourselves that harshly. HSPs in general tend to have quite a harsh inner critic. I think that has a lot to do with the sort of a perfectionist standard that we have very high expectations of ourselves and others around us, which can cause a lot of problems for us. So thinking about how you talk to yourself is a really profound experience. I remember coming across a video one time that these two women in their 20s that were best friends were told to tell each other what they were actually saying to themselves in their head. And by the end of that, they were both in tears. I couldn't believe how much it hurt to hear. And in fact, it does the same thing to ourselves when we're talking to ourselves like that. This is not an easy thing to shift. I mean, if you've had this habit for most of your life, it's going to take some time to shift it, but the shift can occur quite quickly if you bring up a level of awareness. Remember, as an HSP, you've got more activation in the insula part of your brain, which is really the seat of consciousness. So we have the ability to pay attention to a goal and focus on that. So maybe we start today with how we're talking to ourselves, and can we replace that with some more loving talk? I do believe that the emotion itself that we're experiencing in a moment weighs 5 pounds, but that judgment and that harsh critical language actually adds 1,000-pound weight to the experience. Think about those two children. That first child is going to actually feel worse than how they started, and the second child is going to start to feel soothed. So I want you to think about the language that you're using towards yourself and see that it makes a very big difference in how your overall experience of life on a daily basis is. Try that. Let me know how it goes. There's lots more tips on my website, juliebjelland.com, and that's spelled JuliebJelland. That's juliebjelland.com. Lots of HSP resources on my website. I'm very committed and passionate about helping you thrive in the world. Take care of yourselves. Try some loving language today.